Okay, I'm doing a few games that were played a while back, and I didn't get a chance to get the videos done. I always said I would get to them. But, this is correspondence chess, and, both sides, made a few mistakes. They did not take their time, in my opinion, and and missed chances to maybe do better than they did. Now, here, I've already played through this. This move is it's just not good. It does get white out of book, but the whole purpose of correspondence chess is to learn book. Okay? If you want to learn the Philidor defense is black, play it. If you want to learn the Petrov defense is black, play it. If you want to learn the elephant gambit, play it. Okay? If you want to play this and defend against whatever, white's bishop, the Italian game, the Lopez, the four knights, the Ponziani, whatever, the Scotch, play it. Learn the opening. Nobody plays this, okay? Nobody plays that move. It's got, basically a hands white a pawn, and black is taking white out of his book. Maybe black's got experience, but with careful play, white should be okay here. So, the first thing I see is queen h4. It threatens a mate, but, white's not doing badly here. White can, let's look at options for white. You reach this position, it's a correspondence game. The clock is ticking, but you have 3 days to make your move. Let's look at some. Queen f3, okay, that defends this square, and suddenly we have a counterattack here. It also defends this pawn. So, if black plays knight here to attack this pawn again, white might elect to play d3. And black doesn't seem to have enough for the pawn. We can try some move like this. Okay, I'll put the knight here. We can chase the queen, but I'll just slide over here. And, black doesn't have enough. Or we could do what he did. Oh, let's come back to this move. We could also do this. And that defends f2, and we're willing to give this up.
Check.
And we'll say, let's just trade queens.
Check.
And, I'm happy with this position. I'll castle. Well, here you have to save your bishop. Okay. And I'll just say, hey, I've castled. I've got 2 pieces developed. I'm ahead in development. So whatever, black is doing, you missed a chance with correspondence chess to look it up. Now here, white could just go ahead and give black a little compensation, but white's doing fine here. Bishop c4, you're ready to get castled, okay? It did activate this bishop, but white chooses to bring the knight back. And this is not wise because now white gets d4 in. But white's next move is strategically a huge mistake. What white is trying to do is, it seems like the way the game went is white's trying to trade pieces. The logic is that the more pieces you trade, the closer you are to an endgame that you can convert to a point. Okay? But, there's some inherent problems with that. I used to play that style when I was first new to tournament chess. I would try to win a pawn as fast as I could. And once I could do that, I would try to trade pieces off as fast as I could. Because I knew that if I reached a king and pawn ending, I was headed for a win. What I discovered was my opponents weren't so generous to let me trade pieces. So white plays for trades here, but he gives up a lot. A perfectly good move for white is just play c3. Okay, that bolsters, or we can only save c3, just play this. This develops a piece. And if black pins, now there's threats on d4, we just lock it up. And, black doesn't have enough for the pawn he sacrificed. He doesn't. So what white does is play d5. That gives up control of these squares. White was controlling, a good portion of the center with its pawns. That means those squares are booby-trapped. Black can't place pieces on those squares. He can place pawns on those squares, but he can't safely put a piece. Now, white still controls 4 squares with those pawns, but they're different squares. Okay, we've given something up. Now, what black could have done here is brought his knight here. This, to me, would be a better move. Why is this a better move? Because we're keeping pieces on the board. We're sending this knight to the king side. Because that's one of the objectives black had was to try to attack white. The other drawback with d5 is we're opening up this diagonal which was shut down. I mean, that bishop was neutralized. Okay, c3 says to that bishop, you're going to be a spectator. I don't have to even look at you for the next 30 moves. Well, not 100% true, but you get the idea. When you play d5, now you're going to have to look at that bishop every move, because there's pressure on your vulnerable square. So black should play knight here. And white gets to trade. Now white looks for another trade. Now here I would have played king f8. And I say, I think your bishop's out of play over here. And mine isn't anymore. Okay, so it allows trades. Now this was kind of a puzzling move. This would have made more sense. Keeping an eye on these squares, trying to get over there, maybe generate some threats against the king. And white's looking for more trades. But he gives black an open file. And, I don't think this was a wise choice. Black controls the only open file on the board. And white's looking for more trades. And a little switches to keep from losing a pawn. And just like that, white's made a bunch of trades, but the price he's paid is black now controls the A file. So white's still a pawn ahead, but a good portion of his advantage has vanished. It's not there. Right now, black is threatening to win a rook. White needs to vacate or trade. And black still controls the file. There are entry points. And here, black makes another error. Let's see. This move made no sense. You're trying to use this active rook. White wants to play d6 and activate his rook, but at the same time he has to be wary of the back rank. So black should have spent a move and brought his king here. And now white doesn't have time for this yet because of the back rank mate. Okay, so now say white breaks the mate, we just come over here and d6 is neutralized. Okay, so this didn't happen. Now white's got this rook in play. He tries to get it active, create threats. Now black discovers if he plays here, he's going to have to go on the defensive. So maybe that would have been a bad idea, because white has to stop and get this rook in the game, get that rook back in the game after he takes a pawn. So what if black plays this? And if white takes, black takes. Now say you give a check.
Check.
Now I'm going after this pawn. Okay. Check.
Check.
I don't know, maybe white's getting somewhere. White got somewhere there. So it could be a little risky to give up those pawns, but losing this tempo with this rook certainly didn't help black. Let's back this up. Let's play my move first. King f7, king f1, king e7. Now on rook here, let's do this check.
Check.
You got to come out. Okay, now let's go create a threat on this pawn. Say white protects this way. Okay, now we'll use the king. Now say white runs over here. Oops, we have a problem. Check. If you come over there, he's going to grab this. And if you take this, he's going to grab this. And suddenly black is winning. So, this is why deactivating the rook, losing that tempo, was critical. You want to come over here? Okay, I'll come over here and chase. I'll chase a pawn. You want to protect it? I'm going to fork a couple of pawns. Now this rook has lost his activity. You want to protect it this way? Fine. I'll just play here. Black's rook is active. So black chose to deactivate it because he's not taking his time. I mean, I'm seeing this in minutes. A 2073 player should be able to see it in minutes also. Now he gets passive with his rook. I mean, what's wrong with activating it? Come down here, create a threat. Go back to the back rank, threaten to come over here. Now white's on. Black had control of that file. Now white's on it. And white's rook's active and black's is passive. Now black's running out of pawn moves. He gambits a pawn. Gambits another pawn to activate his rook. But suddenly, the white pawns have advanced and they're becoming strong. And let's see now. One thing black could do, probably should do, is this. Okay, this creates his own pass pawn. Now, the first point is if pawn takes, we bring the king back to defend. And black is probably close to a draw here. He's still got his work cut out for him, but he's probably close. Of course, the other line would be this, but this is not a threat because the king would take. And, black can stop and activate his rook here. Now, for white to advance his pawn, he needs to retreat or advance his rook. Now, maybe that would do it. Let's see. Now, this is a threat. Maybe this was a blunder. Let's see. Well, black is going to have to come back here. So let's not put the rook down there. Let's put the rook here. Now the idea is to put the rook here and try to win this pawn.
Check.
Check. I don't know. Let's see. Can we risk sending the king away?
Check.
To hold on to that pawn. Okay, let's see. Can we take it now? No. We can't take it now because of here. Anyway, white's making progress. That's clear. But this just puts black in a lot of trouble.
Check.
Two connected pass pawns, and one is threatening to queen, and we see that this move is met with rook back. So
check.
He finds a way to get his rook in the game, but it's not enough.
Check.
Because white now has a check, and doesn't matter where the king went. This king could be here, but white is forcing a pawn through, and that's the game. So black chose not to play a book opening. I'll say it again. If you don't have If you don't have chess books, you can get them, you can buy them, okay? They're everywhere. Amazon.com is a good place to start, okay? If you don't have a database, Google ChessBase. Spend $150, $250. You get millions of games. You don't want to spend that? Open up Google.com and type free chess online database. There's one, I think it's 365 Chess. They're free. All you have to do is register with an email and a username, and you get access to millions of games, and you can see how often they were played. You know, like this move is, if there were, oh, well, I'm going to guess, say there were 1 million games in the database from this position, you're probably going to see less than 1%, much less than 1% of black's moves being this. You might find 50 games. You might find 20 games. I'm not going to look. I don't, but you're not going to find it. You want to learn openings, you got to do the work. And what better place to do it than when playing a correspondence game? Because now you're getting practice using it, using the attack or the defense. So, correspondence chess is a great way to improve your game. Why not do it? Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording, and we have about 13 minutes left.